Have you ever heard of a religion that was born deep in the heart of the Amazon? One that actually blends Christian beliefs with a sacred plant medicine? Well, today we're diving into a really fascinating dissertation to understand the origins, the beliefs, and the incredible healing experiences of the Unión de Vegetal, or the UDV.
So, the whole story here kicks off with a quest, deep in the Amazon. But the man at the center of it all, he wasn't looking for gold or some lost city. No. As his wife said so beautifully, he was after a treasure that no money can pay for. And that man's name was José Gabriel da Costa. He was a young guy from Bahia, Brazil, and his journey would eventually lead him to start a spiritual movement that's now known all over the world.
Okay, so check out this timeline. It really shows an incredible life. He was born in 1922, and then, during World War II, he gets sent to the Amazon. He was part of something called the Rubber Army, basically a huge workforce that had to endure these brutal, awful conditions to harvest rubber for the war effort. It was out there, in this incredibly tough environment, that he started this personal spiritual search, telling people he was looking for a treasure. And that search all came to a head in 1959 when he had his first encounter with the sacred tea, ayahuasca.
But here's the thing. Long before he was known as the founder of the UDV, José Gabriel da Costa was already famous in the Amazon, but for a totally different reason, and actually under a different name. So he kind of had these two identities. For years, people knew him as the Sultan das Matas, the Sultan of the Woods. I mean, think about it. This is a remote region with basically no doctors. So he was this revered folk healer, using plants and chants to cure people. But later, he takes on the name Mestre Gabriel, or Master Gabriel, and reveals something profound. That healing power people saw in the Sultan, it wasn't some outside spirit. It was a force that came from inside him. And this, right here, was the massive turning point. In 1961, he gets his followers together and just drops this bombshell, saying, I want to tell you that everything Sultan das Matas did, I know how. Sultan das Matas is me. By claiming that, by unifying these two identities, he wasn't just claiming his power. He was making the shift from being a local folk healer to becoming the spiritual master of a whole new path. And that new path got a formal name and structure on July 22nd, 1961. That's the day Mestre Gabriel officially established the Unión de Vegetal, the UDV.
So what did he actually teach? Well, the core doctrine is called Christian reincarnationist, which is just a fascinating mix, right? It takes these foundational Christian beliefs and weaves them together with the idea that our souls evolve over many, many lifetimes.
Let's break that down a bit. So the UDV absolutely sees Jesus as the Son of God, a total cornerstone of Christianity. But they also see Earth as a kind of spiritual school. Our spirits keep coming back in different lives to learn and to grow. This whole process is guided by a law of merit, which is a lot like the concept of karma. And the ultimate goal of all of this? It's something they call cura, a deep, profound state of spiritual healing. What's really key here is that these teachings, they're not written down in some book. They're passed down orally, through songs, stories, and shared experiences.
And the main place where these teachings really come to life is in the religious session. This is where members drink the sacred tea, which they simply call the vegetal. Now, a really central idea in these rituals is the burracheira. The dissertation is super clear about this. This is not seen as just being intoxicated. For the UDV members, it's a state of expanded consciousness. It's a focused tool for spiritual learning and for deep self-examination. And it's always done within the safe, guided structure of the session. And as you can see, the whole ritual is very, very structured. Everyone wears a uniform, which symbolizes their unity. After the vegetal is served, the whole session is guided by teachings, and these specific songs called chamadas, which means calls. And each song is sung for a specific reason, to call in strength, or light, or healing. It really transforms the whole thing from just a passive experience into an active, collective, spiritual journey. So this structure, this experience, it all leads us right to the core question of the research we're looking at today. Why on earth do so many members report such profound, truly life-altering transformations? The findings that are documented in this research are just striking. Members consistently report feeling this profound relief from really serious issues. We're talking deep depression, constant anguish, even severe drug addiction. And they directly credit these positive changes to being part of the UDV. And this brings us to a really crucial point. the healing doesn't just come from the tea alone. The dissertation points to 5 interconnected pillars that work together to create this system for change. It all starts with O-carrier, the person's own genuine will to change. The Vegetal then acts as a kind of catalyst, but its effects are shaped and guided by the moral teachings of the doctrine. Then you add the example of Mestre Gabriel, and, so importantly, the support of the community, auspisolus. And you've got this complete, holistic system where every single part reinforces the others. You know, Mestre Gabriel went into the forest searching for a treasure, and he came back with a sacred plant. But maybe the religion he built shows us what the real treasure is. This powerful synergy of personal will, a sacred plant, a guiding philosophy, and a strong supportive community. It really leaves us with one final thought to ponder. What is the precise alchemy that makes this combination so profoundly transformative for so many people?